This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm joined by David Adeleye all the way from Miami. First of all, how are we?
Yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
Not too bad. The sun is shining there, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot. It's too hot right now, to be fair.
At least you're wearing a big black
But
jumper.
yeah, now I'm wearing a t-shirt. It's not the smartest thing I should have done. And I chose black.
Good choice, good choice. Black in the sun's always a good choice. But look, first of all, let's get down to it. AJ Usyk, it wasn't the night we wanted, but get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it wasn't that nobody wanted in the UK. But it is what it is. It's a sport of boxing. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You know, and yeah, you know, he took it how he took it. What can we say?
What did you make of his performance? Obviously, the change of training teams and everyone's saying it's been Joshua's career best performance. Is it the same in your eyes?
Best performance. I mean, yeah, he boxed way better than he did the first time on. But it's like he ran out there with the same sort of tactics we were trying to box him. He got rough a bit in like round 8, round 9. You know, had a lot of success. That was about it. But I mean, yeah, definitely 10 times better than he did the first time on. I mean, obviously it wasn't enough, so he could have done more or whatnot. I think he should have just used his natural ability, which was his strength and his power. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not in the team, so you know, that's a job for his team to do.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was saying before the fight, that's what he's got to do. Got to rough him up and he's got to get close to him and close the distance and work the body. He didn't do enough of that, you reckon, in your eyes?
Yeah, he worked the body pretty well. Looked like Usyk was blowing a bit in 8, 9. But he just should have hunted the body a bit more. Like I said, roughed him up in the clinches. You know, they'll break him pretty clean. He should have roughed him up a bit more and just to put a bit more in his face. But yeah.
How did you score the fight? Was it the last 3 championship rounds which made the difference, or did you have it further than that? The 115, 113 for AJ. Obviously, everyone's speaking about that, but 115, 113 Usyk, 116, 112 Usyk. Again, what were your scorecards?
I gave AJ 3 rounds, maybe 4. I gave the rest to Usyk. So yeah, it was pretty close. I mean, obviously one judge gave it to Joshua. Obviously, he saw from a different perspective. He was there inside. God knows what he saw. You know, AJ tried, but he got enough man to try and Kenny. I just felt like I just saw something online. Everyone talked about mental health or whatnot, and Joshua kind of just showed that obviously all that hype and pressure got to him yesterday, and everyone's ripping him. You know, I thought they got to take a step back and actually observe the man and make sure he's good.
You said you felt sorry for him on Twitter last night. The reaction in itself has got lots of reaction. What did you make of it, first of all? You said there's a lot of emotion in that.
Yeah, I mean, someone in his team, they should have just let him walk off. They should have just let him walk off. He walked back on. I mean, someone should have just taken a knife off him. But, you know, sometimes it's good to show that sort of side to you because you show everyone else that you're human. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, everyone's with him now. But the man's a man at the end of the day with raw emotions, and people forget that.
People are saying that it's a bit deeper than just someone that sort of lost his temper a little bit or was a little bit bored over by the pressure. A lot of people saying that it was a bit of a breakdown for Joshua.
I wouldn't say it was a breakdown. I just think it was at a certain point and I was like, wow, I need to let it out. You know, sometimes it's good letting it out when nobody's there, but at the same time, you want to let it out so people can kind of know. Obviously, he didn't like how people were talking to him. I see more commotion when he was walking back to the changing room. I think he got mad at the judge for the Hergen fight. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's a man at the end of the day with real emotions. So we need to take that into consideration.
He wants to be out, he said, in December. There are still lots of fights available for him, but where do you see him going now? Where do you want to see him go next?
Go for Wilder. Might as well. You know, see how that plays out and you know, go from there. You know, there's still a lot of money to be made for him. And there's still a lot of fights out there. A lot of people are still gonna want to fight him. regardless of the belts and whatnot. You know, he's a household name in the UK. He's a big name. So for a lot of people, they're gonna want to, still take him on.
That Wilder fight, how does he get on with that one?
Fight, I'm gonna sit on the fence. Good fight though. Very good fight for boxing. How do you think he gets on?
Same as you, David. Same as you. But yeah, let's talk about the card as well. Zhang versus Hrgović. It was an odd one for Hrgović, a bit out of character, but again, an utter slugfest in the end.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how to call Hrgović animal though. I didn't see no animal in him yesterday. You know what that was about. They say he's proper avoided and whatnot. I mean, look, they'll both look like dangerous fighters in the first 6-7 rounds, and then they kind of gassed out. Like I said, I mean, they're a bit too heavy for their own good, and that's the problem with heavyweights nowadays. They all just want to be big boys rather than athletic. There's only a handful of athletic heavyweights. The rest of them are just big.
Picking us back up, antics in Miami with David there. We're just picking us back up. He's back in the house. Yeah, you thought Zhang won the fight against Hrgović. You didn't see much of him.
Yeah, I thought Zhang won the fight. I think he done enough in the early stages. I think if Zhang was fitter, he would have got Hrgović out of there. But of course, like I said, fatigue got the better of him. These boys are just heavy boys, aren't they? Of course, Zhang's big and he bangs. He clearly racks. I mean, you could see he racks. But yeah, I mean, he just didn't have that engine to kind of keep him through to the 12th round. I thought he had to finish strong as well. He didn't finish strong. He gave it the last round. He gave a couple of rounds where I think, like I said, he's going to probably wake up today and kick himself and think, damn, I wish I did a bit more.
I see Derek Chisora put a post on his Instagram. I don't know whether this is an official announcement or what it is, but the war in China or something like that was the slogan or something. But yeah, what do you make of that fight? Chisora Zhang.
Interesting. Chisora always comes to fight. Zhang's just big. Zhang obviously relies on his power, believes in his power. So that'll be an interesting fight. One I'd like to watch though, most definitely. Chisora's always in a good fight. So, I mean, I think it's one to watch. I think Chisora's got probably better fights out there though. But if that's what we want, then that's what we want.
You said there's better fights out there. It seems that the Tyson Fury fight has now gone. There doesn't seem to be any more discussions with that now. Usyk's holding all the belts. Do you think that's a fight that will be made next?
Who's that?
Usyk Fury.
Seems like it, to be fair. What's left for Usyk and what's left for Fury?
Well, Usyk said that if he's not fighting Fury, that's it. Well, why carry on? And you can agree with that in some respects for him.
No, yeah, most definitely. He's accomplished everything he could possibly accomplish. Yeah, I mean, him and Fury would be a good fight. Obviously, I think Fury probably edges it, but I don't think the fight will be as interesting as everyone thinks it will be. But it's definitely a fight that everyone's going to want to watch.
It's definitely a fight that's intriguing. Both are awkward. Both are unconventional in the way they fight as well. And both are extremely clever. But the problem is, I guess, you've got the big un always beats a little un. So I guess that's the argument.
Yeah, exactly that. And obviously Fury's a natural heavyweight, so when they get to the later rounds, how does Usyk deal with the weight and whatnot? And how does he react to certain shots or certain styles or certain things that Fury can bring to the table?
Another fight I want to get your opinion on. I've had both of them on Zoom calls today. Nathan Gorman and Wardley, the British title fight. Just get me your initial thoughts on that one.
Good fight for the domestic scene. Interesting. Yeah, man. I mean, it'll be a good fight. I'd love to see the winner of that. I think they should come and see me, and then we'll just go from there. But at the same time, I'm just gonna sit back, see them two have it out, and then just have my chance and grab that belt. It don't really matter who wins. I'll kick both their asses. It's just the fact and reality. I'm starting to realize. Like, one thing about me is I'm confident, but I'm not cocky. You know what I mean? I don't call out certain people I don't feel like I'm ready for. I'm still a long way from where I need to be before I get to that sort of level. So that's why I just sit back and observe. So the people that I do call out, the people I feel like I can genuinely beat. I know a lot of them. They're both respectful fighters. Man, credit to them. I ain't got no malice, no animosity towards them. At the end of the day, just boxing. There's no personal hate there. And like I said, I know they don't really do the whole calling out fighters. It's not really their style and whatnot. They're humble with it, but it's my style, and it's just me. What can I say? You can't knock me. Like, they're gonna cuss me out anyways, regardless. So I just say what I say, and the truth is, I'll kick both their asses. And I've seen them in real life, and we'll see what's going on.
Who do you think's favourite in that fight? Because arguably, Gorman
Gorman.
Why do you think? I mean, arguably, it's pretty obvious, but can you explain why is that? Because Gorman's had time out the ring, so that must come into effect in some part.
I think Gorman's just better well-rounded. Wardy clearly racks though. He looks like he's got a bit of power on him, but at the same time, he doesn't. Anyone over 90 kilos has power. Do you know what I mean? Everyone whacks, but don't get me wrong though. Wardy always does what he needs to do. So, like I said, it's going to be an interesting fight. But a lot of people are edging towards Gorman because they feel like Gorman's more experienced and whatnot. Said more, more time with certain opponents, and he's been there with certain opponents that Wardy necessarily hasn't. So it's interesting.
Is this where we find out a little bit more about Fabio Wardley? You said he's not really been tested that much. Is this pretty much? I mean, his last opponent was, to say the least, it was shambles really, with it being, it was the last ditch attempt to get an opponent, let alone be in the ring with him. But yeah, it's just the first test you'd say for Fabio.
To a degree, because I think Fabio's had a test before in terms of like web and whatnot. So I think it's a test, of course, to a certain level, but not his first proper test. There's exams and then there's GCSEs. Wardy's had a couple of exams now. Well, he's had one exam that he pissed it easily, and then now he's gone in for his GCSEs. So we'll see how he does with his GCSEs. A lot of people are going to be mentioning me, but Dave, you ain't done no GCSEs. Nah, mate, but I've had a lot of mock tests and I've passed my mock tests with flying colours. You know what I mean? So I'm all good with that going into the real one.
Very on trend, that, especially with the A-level results last week. You're very clued up. That was great on trend, that. How does that one end between those two?
I think Gorman wins. I genuinely do. I think Gorman stops him. I think he does in pretty good fashion, to be fair, but you never know. It might be Adeleye vs Wardley in the new year. So we just don't know. Unless they want to fight straight after. I mean, God knows when that fight's penciled in for. It's penciled in for November. If they want to fight in December, then I'm free to do that. If they really want to do a quick turnover and hold the belt for just a month, and I'll take it for a longer period.
So you're straight back in. You jump straight at that straight away.
I'll jump at it. I'll jump. Look, I swear to you, Harry, I'm not even saying it to be. I just back myself. That's all it is. I back myself. I'm not gonna come out here and start calling out certain people. You're not gonna see me call out the Wilder, the Lewis Ortizes and stuff. Not yet, because the truth is, I'm just not there yet. I still got. I'm still an apprentice. But I'd say I still got a lot to learn. As for these other boys, yeah, come and see me, man.
And if that fight doesn't come off, I mean, where do we see you next? Is there any plans for you next? Talk about what's going on with you.
Yeah, so we just, sifting through certain people right now and just, leaving it for my management, leaving it for the promoters to do. I had a little injury, a little niggle, so that's why I haven't been so active. I was meant to fight back in July, but obviously I had this little injury, set me back a bit. So just getting back into it now and just overcoming the injury. So yeah.
You're out in Miami. Give us any info. What's the sparring been? Where you been? You're there for 6 weeks, aren't you?
Yeah. So it's me, Sugar Hill. There's a few fighters. We're all here just learning our craft. I've been training with Sugar for a while now, just under wraps. But so yeah, I mean, I just gave you the tea. So yeah.